Back to Klavertje kitchen here with Chef Vivian. Once again, I'm going to show you how to make vanilla ice cream from scratch using 4 recipes. Or let me call it 5 recipes in total, but we are starting with 4 recipes for the mise en place, that is for the preparation. I have here with me 2 liters of milk, sugar, vanilla, and eggs. Of course, we are going to use only the egg yolk. We are going to split the eggs and use only the egg yolk. So let's get started. So I will start first by bringing my milk to a cook point, not boiled, but cook point. So I'm just going to add the milk to my cook pot here. So I'm going to add the 2nd liter. I'm using full milk for this purpose because it's always fuller. Also, vanilla ice means full mouth filling and smooth texture. So we need a full milk that is full this fat in the milk. So I'm just going to add a half of my sugar to the milk, and then I'm using the half of the sugar to whip my egg yolk to rhubarb. That is to its foamy yellow consistency. We call it rhubarb in pastry. So, or cooking terms. So I'm just going to stir it, because when you add sugar to liquid, you always need to stir it to prevent crystallization. Otherwise, if you wait a minute, we will have a hardened sugar in your liquid, and you don't want that in your liquid. So I'm going to start my heat now while I begin to split the sugar, the eggs, sorry. So I have here a container for my egg yolk. I'm going to split my eggs immediately in the how do you call it, in the machine here, in the machine bucket. So I'm using only the egg yolk for this recipe, so we don't need the egg white. Of course, we'll be using the egg white later for something else. We can use it to make merengue, or even use it to make consommé. We use it also to make even cakes, add it to our cakes sometime. So I'm just splitting the egg yolk, removing the egg white from the egg yolk. So then I'm using only the egg yolk for this purpose. So it gives it a very smooth texture to your ice cream. That is, if you're using egg white, it can, form like an omelette. That is why it's difficult to use egg white, except if you are using, like, if you are doing a modern cuisine. When you are using a special tool, you can also use the egg white for making vanilla ice cream. But when you are boiling it or warming it up, the way I'm doing it now, to 80 or 80 plus degree, you cannot use your egg white in it. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me. I am Chef Vivian from Klavertje kitchen. Thank you everyone, and welcome once again, and hope you people are enjoying your midweek. Let us know in the comment where you are watching us from. Thank you so much.
Marie, say hello to you.
Hello Marie, welcome to Klavertje kitchen. I am Chef Vivian, welcome, and today I am showing you how to make vanilla ice cream from scratch using simple ingredients. egg yolk, sugar, vanilla pod, milk and heavy cream later at the end before I tune the ice cream. So I'm beginning with the process of splitting the eggs. So the eggs, I'm just splitting the eggs into my bulk.
Marie, say, I don't speak English, I speak French.
Oh, Marie. Bonjour, comment ça va? Merci beaucoup to venir ici.
Ja, te venir ici.
Pour venir ici. Bonjour. I speak English and I also speak the Netherlands or Dutch. So, but I understand French. Yes, I do understand French. If you write in French, I will understand. I do understand French.
Marie, hello, you have a very nice French accent.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Marie. We are so glad that you are here because we want to welcome people from everywhere in the world so that we can also share.
Je suis heureux que vous êtes ici aussi.
What?
Je suis heureux que vous êtes ici. In Frans.
Yeah. Yes. Je suis heureux.
Je suis heureux.
Je suis heureux. Yeah. Okay. Yes, there's somebody here who is learning me French.
With another accent.
Yes, there's somebody who is learning French with another accent. But thank you so much, Marie, for coming by, and thank you and welcome. We will try to speak French. Yes, we were speaking French. I was speaking very good French before, but now I forgot almost everything. But I can understand when you speak French to me, I can understand. So I'm splitting the egg. And what is that? What is that vanilla ice cream in French again? Do you remember? Oh, you don't even remember anymore. I'm so sorry, Marie. Even my French teacher has forgotten this French language. So I don't even know who is better now, me or him. So thank you, Marie. Thank you so much, everyone who is watching now. Thank you for joining. So I'm like splitting the eggs. So I have here 30 eggs, but the recipe, you can find it on one of our videos on our channel. I already created the recipe some time ago. So if you are interested, you can check it out. It's there on the channel. So you can make the best vanilla ice cream ever. So sometimes you have some eggs that are broken. No, it's not 100% perfect. If you have a small egg yolk that is going into your egg white, it's not the end of the world, but you try as much as possible to separate it nicely. I have another method also of separating the eggs very easily without having any problem. I will also show it sometimes in the future for those of you who have problem splitting eggs. Yeah, you see the egg falling. So let me go and empty my pan or pot. I'll be right back. So welcome everyone. I'm Chef Vivian from Klavertje Kitchen. Thank you for joining me. Today I am showing you guys how to make vanilla ice cream once again from scratch. You can find this vanilla ice cream recipe in one of our videos on our channel. If you are interested to watch it, you can go right away and watch it, or check out the ingredients and you have it and you follow the step-by-step method of making it, or otherwise you can watch it here. Just stay here live with me until the end to see how I make it. So it's full. Voilà. I've finished beating my eggs. I'm going to remove everything, clean everything, and I will be back. So let's remove the egg white. We are
Marlie de Grote, say hi to you.
Hi, what is the name?
Marlie de Grote.
Marlie de Grote. Hi, welcome to Klavertje Kitchen here with Chef Vivian. Thank you, and let us know where you are watching us from. Okay.
Marlie de Grote.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining Klavertje Kitchen. My name is Chef Vivian, and today I am showing how to make vanilla ice cream from scratch using our basic recipe. So I already split the eggs. Here I have the egg yolk. I splitted the eggs, that is the egg white from the egg yolk. So I'm using only the egg yolk for this recipe. So here is my kitchen, my mixer. So I'm going to set my mixer. It is not really compulsory, but I find that the ice cream becomes silky and really smoother when you make when you mix the egg yolk and the sugar together. So I'm fighting with my mixer. I did it myself.
Marlie, are you Nigerian?
Yes, I am. I am Nigerian, but I am also Belgium. So, and where are you from? And where are you living? Where are you staying? So this is my egg yolk. I'm going to mix it now with half of the sugar. Okay, before I forget, I'm going to add the vanilla poured to the milk mixture and sugar. So I'm just going to scrape out, you see, the filling from the vanilla beans or the vanilla poured. I'm going to remove everything and I'm going to add it to my milk.
Marlie, is that Belgium, Nigerian?
Yes, I am Belgium, Nigerian. Yes. Thank you. That is very nice. And where are you from? And let us know in the comment, Marie, where you are from. Also, we are interested to know. Thank you for joining us. So I'm removing, you see, the vanilla beans or vanilla poured, if you like to call it that. So I'm scraping everything and I'm putting both the empty poured and the filling in the milk. So I'm bringing them together to a boil point. So I'm not boiling it because you don't want to boil it. When you boil it, it will split. It will split. So you don't want to boil it. You just want to bring it to a boil point. So meanwhile, I'm going to reduce my heat because I want to have everything in control while I mix the egg yolk and the sugar. So I'm going to set this apart. So let me reduce my heat a bit to 1000. Okay. So I'm going to mix.
Yes, I am Belgium, Nigeria also.
Oh, yeah, it's a pleasure. Where are you living, Marie? So, where are you living? And thank you for joining us. Thank you for knowing that, and thank you for letting us know this. It's a pleasure meeting you, Marie. So, So okay, so I have added, okay, let me wash my hands first. I'll be right. Okay, wash my. And then I'm going to add my sugar in 3 times. You don't want to put it once because then it will not mix very well. So I'm going to add it in 3 times. So just to give it a floppy yellow consistency that is a little bit foamy, you know. So we are going to wait for it while it mixes.
Matthew saying hi.
Hi Matthew, welcome to Klavertje Kitchen. Thank you for joining here with Chef Vivian, and happy midweek to you guys. Happy midweek, and I hope you're having fun. Where are you us from? Let us know in the comment below. So I'm adding some sugar again to the yellow egg, or we call it egg yolk. So I'm making vanilla ice cream from scratch. Yes, okay. You can see that the egg yolk is a bit foamy. You see, it's just breaking down all the sugar into the egg yolk. That is the main purpose of this, and it gives it a little bit of foamy consistency. Later, the egg yolk will still go into the egg, into the milk, warm milk, and then we bring it to rebut to about 80 to 85 degree maximum Celsius, and then we let it cool down and let all the air bubbles disappear before we are able to make the vanilla ice cream. So I'm going to add the last bit, the last sugar to the egg mixture. Then I'll whip it again. The meaning is just to remove all the sugar and mix all the sugar together with the egg yolk. That is, then it's complete mix and it's smooth texture. That is what you want. So look, meanwhile I have to keep an eye on the milk because we don't want the milk to cook. So we don't want the milk to cook. So I'm going to set the milk apart for some few minutes. Letting the milk here for a few minutes because I don't want the milk to cook. So that is the only reason. Okay, now the sugar is, look, it's already is complete. The machine or the mixer has done his job or her job. So this is what you are looking for. You just want the sugar to be broken down, to mix with the egg yolk, and to create this foamy consistency, smooth texture. That is what you are looking for. So I'm going to transfer it now into the warm milk, and then I'm going to warm up the milk again with this mixture to about 80, 80 to 85 degrees Celsius. And you also need for this process a thermometer. It is very important, especially for those of you who don't know how warm it should be, to prevent any kind of lump or to prevent any disappointment, because you don't want to make all this put all these ingredients together and you let it spoil and you throw it away. So it is safer to use a thermometer for this purpose. And I have here a very, very, very beautiful thermometer that you can use. You can buy it on Amazon for this purpose. And if you want to support me, you can check it. I have one of this link in one of my videos, in one of my videos, where you can buy it directly. I have it for about 5 years now, and I can bet you it's a very, very, very good one. So you need this, a thermometer. You can buy any one you want of your choice and use it for this purpose. So it's very, very important. Thermometer is also important when you are cooking meat also. I find it very useful also. So let me bring my spatula. So here is my spatula. I'm just bringing it closer. So I'm going to transfer this. You see, you don't want to cook the milk. You are just bringing the milk to a boil point. Then you stop. Because if you cook the milk, what will happen? The milk will split.
Noah say also hello to you.
Hello, Noah. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us. I am Chef Vivian from Klavertje Vier Kitchen, and today I'm showing you how to make vanilla ice cream from scratch using basic ingredients that you can find around you. Like for this recipe, we are using sugar, egg yolk, milk, vanilla powder, and at the end, before we tune the ice cream, we are going to add some heavy cream to it to give it that silky and mouthful consistency that we are looking for in an ice cream. So I'm going to add, now I mix then half of my sugar to the egg yolk to create this foamy and yellow consistency that you see is just sugar and egg yolk, you see. So I'm just going to mix everything together and then return it back to the stove and bring it to about 80 to 85 degrees Celsius to create that delicious silky mouthful ice cream that you are looking for. So I'm just scraping everything, you see, into my pot. I'm moving everything using my spatula. So yes, you can see it's clean now. Okay, I'm going to set it aside. Then I can show you the next procedure. Okay, now this is what I end up having. Adding the egg yolk mixture plus sugar to the warm milk, the milk with vanilla powder and the sugar. That is 4 ingredients that we have here. As I say, we are going to add the heavy cream at the end of the whole episode. That is before tuning. And that gives a very, very beautiful consistency because I have tried other methods before cooking the heavy cream. In most of the recipe online, they are cooking the heavy cream and the milk together. Yes, I have already tried a lot of it before, but I find it very, very more delicious and mouthful when I add the heavy cream at the end of all this process. Just before tuning, it's really fresher and it's really mouthful and really silky. So that is my my idea about this basic recipe. That is my twist. Let me use that language if I'm allowed. So there is something here that you should notice, is that you have to be very, very careful when you are bringing it to a temperature, to the right temperature, because this is very, very important. If you miss this step, the whole vanilla ice cream, the whole procedure will be ruined. So you are going to stir it continuously. You cannot move from this place to another place for even 1 second. You just have to stand here and keep stirring and keep stirring and continuously until it reaches the temperature. Secondly, you must make sure that the temperature is on a medium to low heat. It cannot be, you cannot do it on a high heat. Even if you are a specialist, you just have to, keep it on a medium to low heat. So that is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm showing. Thank you everyone for joining Klavertje Kitchen. My name is Chef Vivian. Happy to meet you here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful midweek wherever you are watching me from. Thank you so much. The vanilla ice cream is so delicious and so fresh, and everybody love it. Everybody love this recipe of ours because it's the smoothest texture that you can ever taste or ever have in a vanilla ice cream. So I bet you guys all who love ice cream to try this recipe at home. You will be absolutely amazed with this recipe. Believe me. So leave your question if you have one, and I'll be very glad to answer them, and tell us where you are watching us from, and I'll also be very glad to know where you are watching us from. So I'm just giving it a stir because I understand, I know how it works and how when I almost reach the temperature, because I can now start using my thermometer and maybe it will keep too long, but because I almost know when I am almost at the temperature, then I will begin from there to use my thermometer for the process. But at the moment, I will keep stirring until I have the feeling that I am closer to the temperature.
Nee, Erik say me too. I don't know why.
Hi, Nerik. What is the name?
Erik.
Eric. Hi.
Erik.
Eric. Hi. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name very well. Thank you for joining Klavertje Kitchen here with Chef Vivian. Thank you for joining and welcome to Klavertje Kitchen. My name is Chef Vivian. Today I am showing you how to make vanilla ice cream from scratch using basic recipe that you can find around you. We have here vanilla, pearl, sugar, egg yolks and milk, and at the end, before tuning the ice cream, I'll be adding my heavy cream to the ice cream mixture to give it that smooth texture and very silky and freshness that you are looking for in an ice cream. So I hope you stay tuned so you can see the procedure step by step. But even if you don't stay tuned, you can also check out the full video on our channel, which has been there for some time now. You can follow it step by step if you want to make this recipe in the comfort of your own home. So I will be bringing out I'll be checking the temperature now. So we are aiming at 80, between 80 to 85 degrees. Sometimes I just leave it at 83 degrees. Sometimes I take it to 85 degrees. So you want to heat that temperature, because even when you heat that temperature, you will see that the ice cream begins slightly to thickening. So we are still far because I'm 70. So I prefer it on a low heat also, because if it's on a low heat, you can be totally in control. But if the heat is higher than this, it can begin to clunter or begin to crumbles. Thank you, everyone. Welcome for joining. And leave your comments below. Let us know where you are watching us from. We'll be so glad to answer your questions, each and every one of you. And thank you for joining us once again. So I'm just doing it on the low heat. That is why I keep stirring it. That is the only way where you can have total control of what you are doing. So if you don't do it this way, your ice cream will crumble and it will become an omelette instead of an ice cream mixture. So that is why you should be careful. And at the end, I will show you the reason why. Because the bottom of the pot should be very clean. There should be no burning. If it's burned, it will test. You will surely test it in the ice cream. So it should not burn. That is the reason why you must keep stirring. So also check out my other videos on my channel. I teach everything from modern cuisine also to fine gastronomy. If this is your cup of tea, make sure you check out all our recipes. If you are interested, you can try them at home. And if you have any problem, don't hesitate to contact me or send me a message. I will be very glad to help you. So I'm going to try again. I'm sure that I'm getting closer. Yes, certainly. I'm still about 10 degrees away. So that is how you make the smoothest ice cream ever. Because most of the time when I see the ice cream, they are not so smooth. They are like ice block. And ice cream should be smooth, should be silky, and it should just melt in your mouth. So an ice cream should be served between -14 and maximum -13 degrees. Nothing more and nothing less. That is where you have the perfect coldness and the perfect texture that just melts in your mouth. But if you take it further, it is a little bit too warm for me. I think that is my personal preference. You do what you want, or otherwise it is also too cold. So that is the temperature, the right temperature that I serve the ice cream. So I will just keep stirring because I am in control of the heat and the temperature. So you just keep stirring it. As I said, you cannot move to anywhere. You cannot leave this pot. Otherwise, it will become, crumbled eggs, or you call it omelette if you want. So for those of you who wonder how to make ice cream, or you think it's easy when you go to the shop to buy a pot of ice cream, I think you should think twice again if you receive a good ice cream, so that you can know how a good ice cream is made from scratch. So by doing this, we are killing every germs or anything that is in this ice cream. So also at the end, before we tune it, we are going to sieve it or pass it through a chinois, if you call it that way, to remove any impurity. So because of that, it gives a very smooth texture and smooth also feeling in your mouth to this ice cream. So let me check the temperature again. Okay, I am like 5 degrees away. You see, it takes a lot of time and energy, but we will be there soon. We'll be there. So make sure you share with your friends and family, or to whom it may be useful. Anyone who loves dessert, who loves ice cream, share this recipe with him or her. She will be so amazed that you did, because you will never find such a recipe anywhere online, because most of the recipes, they are not rightly done. When you have an ice cream, should not be an ice block. An ice cream should be creamy, have smooth texture, and it should have that mouthful. And an ice cream should always be served, that is my personal preference, minus 14 degrees and maximum minus 13 degrees. Then you have that smooth texture that melts in your mouth, and then you also have that creamy feeling, and then you have the coldness in the ice cream. It should not be too warm and not too cold. So I'm almost there. So you see why the thermometer is important. If you don't have the thermometer, you will think that it's ready. No, it's not ready yet. We must hit that temperature. That is why the thermometer is very, very important if you are doing this process. You don't want to overcook it, and you don't want to cook it too less. So you keep it very, very precise. And immediately it hits that temperature, you will see that it thickens a little bit. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining Klavertje Kitchen. Yes, we are almost there. Thank you for joining us, and happy midweek. Happy Wednesday. So today I'm showing you guys how to make vanilla ice cream from scratch. I'm using here 4 ingredients for the basic preparation, and at the end, before tuning, I will be adding the heavy cream. That is my personal preference, to give it a freshness and mouthfulness that you want in your ice cream. So it's taking long here. Normally do it also on the stove, on the stove is faster because it's gas, but I find it comfortable filming here in this position so that I will be able to explain better. In the stove, if you are doing it on a gas stove, it takes around 5 to 7 minutes maximum to do it, to get to the temperature. Okay, now we are ready. So it has been there. It is now temperature. So I'm going to bring my worm holder. So here is my worm holder. Let me put this aside. I have here my worm holder. So you see it's sticking a bit, like I said. So when you do it so with your hand, you should be able to see. You see it's sticking. It's not so light anymore like in the beginning. So that is what you are looking for. Now it has arrived 85 degrees Celsius. So I stop at 85 degrees Celsius. So now I'm going to transfer it immediately into a cold bucket. You want to do this immediately, because if you don't do this, what will happen? You can still have that omelette under your pot if you don't do it. So I'm just going to transfer it immediately into a cold pot, which is a cold bucket here. So you transfer it all with the vanilla purd and everything. You clean it. You see what I was telling you guys? The pot have to be clean like this. That is why you don't have to move an inch. You don't have to go anywhere when you are doing this process, or when you are preparing vanilla ice cream. You have to always sit there and stay where you are. Your pot has to be so clean, because if the pot is burnt, you will test it in the vanilla ice cream, and that you must have to prevent that from all costs, that there is no stickiness or your pot is not burnt. So it has to be clean. So that is one point also. Immediately it is sticky. Immediately there is stickiness there. You can always be guaranteed that you test it in the vanilla ice cream itself. So make sure you stay tuned and keep stirring vigorously, continuously, like you saw me doing, until you arrive at the temperature. So look at that now. We have this foamy consistency of, you see it, the vanilla mixture of vanilla appareil, we call it, preparation, mise en place for our ice cream. So we allow it to cool down, and we call it, this process, the ripening process. The vanilla ice cream is ripening. So for me particularly, I allow it for about 24 hours. Because why? Because this ripening process gives it a better taste, a better infusion of the vanilla pod itself into the ice cream. So when you are eating vanilla ice cream, you are expected to taste that natural vanilla flavor in your ice cream, and you are also expected to taste that freshness. You are also expected to taste that coldness, and you are also expected to taste that smoothness in the vanilla ice cream. So that is why this process is important also, because this resting process also remove all the air bubbles, like you see the presence of egg. You can see the presence of protein, which create that foamy consistency that you see above the mixture. In 24 hours, everything will diminish and everything will be lost. I will just have your main, your main mixture. And then I will add the heavy cream to that mixture, and then I will pass it, or I will sieve it using a very tiny strainer to remove every impurity. It is this way that you can create that smooth ice cream and that type of ice cream that you want to serve to your guests or to your diners. So I hope you guys learned something new in this episode, because I am always amazed and I love to come and share things here with you guys. What we do here in our kitchen, we love sharing our love, our passion, and our knowledge, especially about French Belgian cuisine and modern gastronomy in general. If this is your cup of tea and you like to learn new things, let me know in the comment and tell me what you want to learn more. Maybe I will find time to create that video for you particularly. And if you have any question also, don't hesitate also to leave your questions so that I'll get back to you. It is also my pleasure to help you guys. So thank you once again. I am again Chef Vivian from Klavertje Kitchen, here from our little city of Cuisine in the province of West Flanders, from our little country of Belgium. Yes, sharing once again our unique recipe. We love making it. We give it to our guests every day. We are proud of this recipe because it has earned us so much value and so much thanks from our dear customers. So thank you once again, and see you soon in another episode where we'll be sharing another delicious experience from our little kitchen here with you guys. Love you guys, and see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now. Bye everyone. And